Welcome to another deep dive. This one goes out to all of you working in the corporate world dealing with the never-ending saga of HR. You know what I mean, right? Hit that follow button and subscribe if you haven't already, because this one is going to be juicy. We're diving into a letter from HR expert Szilvia Olah, and she's calling out some serious dysfunction. I think a lot of you are going to relate to this. But luckily, we've got our expert here to help us unpack it all, ready to dive in.
Absolutely, let's do it.
So Ola jumps right in talking about this identity crisis that HR seems to be stuck in. All these name changes over the years, from human resources to talent and culture to people and change. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like they're trying to rebrand their way out of problem, but the core issue remains. That feeling like HR is constantly stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Totally. Trying to be both the advocate for employees and the enforcer for the company. It's like,
Yeah.
who are you really?
Exactly, and that's where the resentment builds from both sides. Employees might see HR as the bad guys, always saying no, and management might see them as a roadblock to getting things done.
Ola uses this really interesting analogy. She says HR can end up acting like someone with daddy issues, always trying to please and taking on tasks that aren't even their responsibility.
It's a bold statement, but it's so true. HR professionals often end up over-functioning, trying to fix problems that managers should be handling themselves.
Which leads to burnout for HR and a less effective workplace overall.
Exactly. It's a lose-lose situation.
So Ola lays it all out. She gives this list of what managers should be doing instead of pushing it on to HR, like this one. Your employees' engagement is your job. Your level of competence, care, and professionalism impacts how engaged they are. Therefore, engagement KPI will be under your KPIs from this year and not ours.
Mic drop. Right, this is huge. For so long, engagement has been seen as HR's problem to solve, but she's saying, no, it starts with the manager.
Okay, so engagement isn't just about free snacks and ping pong tables. It's about a deeper sense of purpose and connection. But why is it so crucial for this to fall on the manager and not HR?
Because think about it. Managers are the ones shaping the day-to-day experience of their team. They set the tone, they provide feedback, they delegate responsibilities. Ultimately, they have the most direct impact on an employee's level of engagement. HR can provide tools and support, but they can't force a manager to be a good leader.
That makes a lot of sense. And it leads right into our next point, which is equally bold. She writes, culture is created by you. Therefore, we cannot take responsibility for it. We can design interventions and establish structures that will reinforce the culture, but how employees feel about the company is up to you.
This one's so important because it debunks this myth that HR can just create a positive culture out of thin air. Culture comes from the top. It's a reflection of leadership. What they value, how they behave, that's what shapes the culture.
So if a company has a toxic culture, it's not because HR isn't doing their job.
Exactly. It's because the leadership is allowing it, or even encouraging it.
Wow. All right, let's talk about this next point from Ola. She says, during business conferences, you will be required to talk about your people, how you manage, develop, motivate, or hire them. We would like you to speak about your people and your management and leadership skills as proudly as you talk about making millions of profit.
I love this. It's like she's holding up a mirror to leadership and saying, hey, you can't just brag about the profits without acknowledging the people who made it happen.
Right. Recognize the human element of success. It's about time.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about engagement culture. Let's move on to employee development. Ola is very clear about who's responsible for that. She writes, the training of your employees for the job that you supervise is your job. We will provide learning and development opportunities for everyone, but we don't want to drag people into sessions and fight with you over scheduling. We will make them available, but the rest is up to you. If you or your team members aren't developed, it is on you.
Again, it's about ownership. Managers need to own the growth of their teams. HR can provide the resources, the infrastructure, but it's up to the manager to make sure their team members have the skills they need to succeed.
And it goes beyond just ticking a box, right? It's about creating a culture of learning and development within the team.
Absolutely. It's about fostering that growth mindset, encouraging people to constantly learn and evolve.
Okay, so what about those situations that require more than just training, like disciplinary issues? Those can get pretty messy. Does Ola think managers should handle those solo too?
She does, and she's very direct about why. She writes, we will teach you how to run disciplinaries so you can manage that with your people. We will provide support and ensure that the process is fair and bespoke to each circumstance, but you have to discipline your people. If you are a responsible leader or manager, you never hand this over to anyone, simply because they are your people. They are under your care.
Wow. She's not mincing words. She's really emphasizing the importance of that direct relationship between manager and employee, even when things get tough.
It's about accountability and building trust. If there's an issue, it should come directly from the manager. It shows they care enough to address it head on.
So where does HR fit in that? Are they completely hands-off?
Not at all. They're there to provide guidance support and ensure that the process is fair and legal. But they shouldn't be the ones delivering the message or making the final decision. It's about empowering the manager to handle the situation effectively.
So it's more of a strategic partnership.
Exactly.
Okay, and she goes on to talk about team building and hiring. She writes, if you want a staff outing or team building, you can organize it for your team. Build your team. HR cannot build it for you. Hiring your team is your job. We will source candidates and do the initial screening, but then you have to decide as you are the ones who will manage and lead them.
Right. It's all about taking ownership of the entire employee lifecycle, from recruitment to onboarding to training to performance management. It's all on the manager.
She's like, stop relying on HR to do your job for you. You're the leader, own it.
Pretty much.
And then she saves what might be her most impactful point for last. She writes, you have to decide who to lay off from your team, and you have to deliver that message. They are your people, and they want to hear the reasons and the reasoning behind the decision from you. But hold it. Partner with HR so you don't end up on social media. This is what partnering with HR looks like, and not that HR does the job for you.
This is where it all comes full circle. A manager who can't handle delivering difficult news like layoffs is basically passing the buck, dumping the emotional burden onto HR.
And that's not fair to anyone. It erodes trust. It damages morale. And it makes the whole process even more painful.
It does. It's crucial to remember that layoffs, while sometimes necessary, are deeply personal for the employees affected. They deserve to hear the news from the person who has been their leader.
So Ola's message is crystal clear. HR is there to support and guide managers, not to do their job for them. It's a partnership, not a crutch.
Exactly. And that brings us to the concept of a true strategic partnership, which Olah highlights throughout her letter.
Okay, let's unpack that. What does a healthy strategic partnership between HR and managers actually look like in practice?
Well, I think it starts with clear communication and shared expectations. Both parties need to understand their roles and responsibilities and how they can best support each other. It's about recognizing that they each bring unique strengths and perspectives to the table.
So it's more than just dividing up tasks. It's about a deeper alignment of goals and a shared commitment to creating a positive and productive work environment.
You got it.
Olah sums it perfectly in her conclusion. She writes, we are not in charge of the people. You are. We are in charge of policies, procedures, and practices governing the experiences of individuals within the organization, including you. For this to occur, we must strategically collaborate with all of you, collect data, and craft interventions based on that. This way, we can rightfully call ourselves strategic partners.
It really clarifies HR's role. It's about creating the framework and providing the resources for a positive employee experience. But it's up to the managers to bring that framework to life within their teams.
So it's about empowering managers to be better leaders, not just dictating what they should do. She continues, our role is to protect the business, and we achieve this by assisting you in becoming better managers and leaders. This involves making ethical decisions and designing employee experiences that you can brag about at conferences. We want you to take responsibility for your employees, but please note that if you falter, we will be there to deal with you. Our commitment to protecting the business hinges on guiding you toward quality people management practices.
It's a powerful statement. It underscores the idea that HR's success is tied to the success of the managers they support. By helping managers become better leaders, HR is ultimately protecting the business as a whole.
She's basically saying, we're all in this together, but let's be clear about who's steering the ship. And for those who want to dive deeper into all of this, Olah has a book that expands on these ideas. It's called Blind Leading the Disengaged, From Kindergarten to Employee Experience. It's already out, and you can find a link to it in the episode description. In it, she offers practical advice for managers who want to improve their people management skills and move beyond that corporate kindergarten mentality.
Which brings us to another one of Olah's great phrases, stop the corporate kindergarten.
What does she mean by corporate kindergarten?
She's talking about that tendency to treat employees like they're incapable of handling responsibility,
Yeah.
micromanaging bosses, endless rules and procedures, a general lack of trust in people's abilities.
Such a powerful metaphor.
It is.
It really highlights the need for a more mature and empowering approach to leadership.
Exactly. And Ola is clear about where that shift needs to begin. She writes, "No, HR is not for that, so please put your big manager and leader pants on and look after the people under your care."
It's a reminder that leadership isn't about a title. It's a mindset and a set of behaviors. And those behaviors start with taking ownership of your team's well-being and development.
And recognizing that employees are not children who need constant supervision. They're adults who are capable of growth contribution and making decisions.
So essentially, Ola's calling for a major culture shift in how we approach leadership and management in the workplace.
Absolutely. And she's placing the responsibility for that shift squarely on the shoulders of managers. It's a challenge, but it's also an incredible opportunity to create a work environment where everyone can thrive. It's interesting, Ola doesn't just point out the problems. She actually offers a way forward, gives practical advice on what managers can do to create a better work environment.
Yeah, like when she talks about managers needing to put on their big leader pants, she's not just being funny. She's advocating for a more courageous approach to leadership.
Right. And it connects back to what we were talking about earlier, the emotional side of leadership. She's challenging managers to step up and handle those tough conversations, deliver bad news, and really own the impact of their decisions.
For a long time, the business world has tried to separate the emotional from the rational, as if feelings have no place at work. But Ola is saying that's not realistic, and it's actually harmful.
Totally. We can't just ignore the human element. People bring their whole selves to work, their emotions, their experiences, and good leaders recognize that.
So it's about leading with both your head and your heart. But I think a lot of managers struggle with that. It feels uncomfortable,
Right.
maybe even risky. Like they might show weakness or lose control.
I get that, but what's really risky is ignoring the emotional needs of your employees. When people feel unseen or unheard, they check out, motivation plummets, productivity
It's
suffers.
like a domino effect.
Exactly. It impacts the whole team and ultimately the business suffers.
So it's actually in a company's best interest for managers to develop their emotional intelligence and get more comfortable with those human-to-human interactions.
100%. And it's not about being everyone's therapist. It's about creating a safe environment where people feel comfortable being themselves, expressing their needs, knowing they'll be heard.
So building trust, creating psychological safety.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when people feel safe and supported, they're more likely to take risks, be creative, contribute their best work, and they're more likely to stay with the company, which saves everyone money in the long run.
Absolutely. Less turnover, stronger culture. And this ties back to Ola's point about employee development. It's not just about technical skills. It's also about helping people develop their emotional intelligence, their communication skills, their ability to navigate all those tricky interpersonal dynamics.
Investing in the whole person, not just the skills for a specific task.
Right. And that investment pays off big time, both for the individual and the company.
So let's go back to this idea of shifting away from the corporate kindergarten mentality.
Yes.
Yes.
Such a good phrase.
Right.
It really captures the essence of what she's talking about. Moving away from treating employees like children and creating a more mature and empowering experience.
Trusting people to do their jobs, giving them autonomy, creating a culture of respect and value.
And that requires a different view of leadership, right?
Absolutely. It's not about having a title. It's about creating the conditions for others to thrive.
Empowering your team, fostering collaboration, building a shared vision that everyone can believe in.
And leading by example, showing the values and behaviors you want to see in your team.
It's about going beyond the transactional, do this task, get this reward, and creating a more meaningful work experience.
Exactly. And this is where HR can really step up and support this shift. By providing resources, training, coaching, helping managers develop the skills they need to be better leaders, they can also advocate for policies and practices that support a more human-centered workplace.
So it's back to that strategic partnership we talked about, HR and managers working together to create a workplace where everyone can flourish. Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It's an ongoing process. But Ola's letter gives us a great starting point.
It does. It's a call to action for both HR and managers to step up, take ownership, and create a work environment that's truly worthy of the talent they have.
It's not just about managers and HR. It's about all of us.
Yeah.
At every level, recognizing that we have a role to play.
Even if we're not in a leadership position, we can still contribute. We can speak up when things aren't right. We can support our colleagues, and we can just choose to approach our work with respect and generosity.
Those small acts can make a difference. They can inspire others to do the same.
Exactly. It's about realizing that we're all in this together, managers, HR employees, and when we work together, we can create a workplace where everyone feels valued and empowered.
It's amazing, right? How much of what Olah says applies outside of just the HR world?
Oh, absolutely. Her insights are relevant to any organization, any team, really. It's about recognizing those corporate kindergarten tendencies and then having the guts to actually challenge them.
Yeah, because it's so easy to fall into those patterns, the micromanaging the rules, the lack of trust.
Mm.
But it really does stifle creativity and growth.
It totally does. It's like we're saying, we don't trust you to think for yourself, so we're going to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it.
And think about how much time and energy gets wasted on all that.
Yeah.
The approvals, the procedures, the layers of oversight. Crazy.
It's like trying to get through a maze just to get the simplest things done.
No wonder so many companies struggle to be agile and responsive these days.
Right. But it's not just about efficiency either. It's about that sense of ownership and accountability. When people feel trusted, they step up, they take initiative.
They actually care about the work. They're invested in the team's success.
Exactly. So how do we break free from this corporate kindergarten mentality? Ola gives us some good ideas to think about.
She does. And it starts with realizing that this isn't just an HR problem or a management problem. It's a cultural problem. And to change the culture, everyone needs to be on board.
It takes those tough conversations, challenging the way things have always been done, and really pushing for a more human-centered approach.
And it means giving people the power to lead at every level of the organization.
Right. Even if you don't have manager in your title, you can still be a leader. Speak up when you see something wrong. Support your teammates. Be the change you want to see.
Those little things add up. They create a ripple effect.
They do. It's about being the kind of leader you wish you had. Someone who's empathetic, who empowers their team, who genuinely cares.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Olah's work, I want to leave you with a question to think about.
What are you going to do to stop the corporate kindergarten in your own workplace? What one small step can you take today to create a better environment for yourself and everyone around you?
That's something for all of us to ponder, because the power to change things really does lie within each of us.
It does. Remember, even small actions can make a big difference. So start today. Be the change. And thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
We'll be back soon with another thought-provoking deep dive into a topic that's sure to get you thinking. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so you don't miss out.
Until then, keep learning, keep growing,
And keep pushing for better. Keep diving deep.